welcome to my channel where I all head says so we just basically crack it and escape the matrix. Today this is a question about a 3D rotation and about 3D rotation it was actually it was before not briefly it was just briefly described at the coaching classes that what is 3D rotation, how is it described, but after the 2016 problem which is you can see in the thumbnail that the 2016 famous problem, it was based on that 3D rotation. So everyone thought that it was hard, but that's actually not the case. That was actually a concept which was not studied before. So after in fact in that question they also made mistake on a point and that's made a controversy of the answers they and D. So we'll study about 3D rotation. It's another question on 3D rotation. It's a pretty good question. It's taken from the Narayana Aits. So what's this question about? This question is this is told that uh, a cone is rotating about another fixed cone. This means that there are two cones here. One of the cone is rotating about the other cone by this thing. Means this is the center of Earth. This is coming out of the page. This is rotating on that cone. If you can understand, this cone is rotating on that cone, and it's rolling. Of course, it's called rolling. So that means this point is intense. These points are instantaneously at rest. So we can say that this is the IAOR, that means the instantaneous axis of rotation of this cone, because they are instantaneously on rest as the this is rolling. So most of the people what they will do, just they will do that L is equal to the RCM plus V and into M of course plus ICM. This part they will do, and they will just calculate V and calculate the ICM, and they will just do this answer. It's okay, and I am saying that this is absolutely valid. This is 100% valid. But people make mistakes in this part. They think of it as a general planar motion in which if a body is rotating about some omega, the instantaneous axis of the angular momentum is also about that. That means in general planar motion, omega plus n equal to 0, right? Because they are aligned at the same direction. So they think of it as a general planar motion, and they just calculate the ICM as the this omega, because this is rotating about this omega. But what they are mistaken that this center of mass is also rotating about it. Okay, this center of mass is also rotating about it. So about this body has another rotational. This is called the precision omega. About the fixed axis of the fixed cone, it is having another rotation, which is called the omega of the precision. So they forget to take that sorry, this Lysium omega, that momentum as account. So first, let me just quickly do some concepts that what I just said, that in general planar motion, in the direction where omega is directed is also the direction where angular momentum is directed. Because if a body, suppose it's a small body, it is rotating about this, then we curl our finger and just go like this, then this go around this, then we curl our fingers in with the right hand, and we see that the sense of rotation is in this direction, and we say that R cross B also is this direction. Correct. But in 3D bodies, suppose this is anything, this is any 3D body. If this is rotating about this and this is rotating about some bigger thing, this CM, then then its angular momentum is not only directed about this, its angular momentum is directed about some in between axes, because some this is omega s and this is sigma. Sorry, this is capital sigma. This is capital omega. I'm sorry, capital omega is precision, and this is omega of spinning. So their net rotation is about this, and the angular momentum is about this, but in general motion, as there can be omega in only one direction. So the angular momentum is also directed about that omega. But in this case, in this 3D rotation of a rigid body about a point, in the angular momentum may not be directed about omega s or precision omega individually, because it is directed the in their instantaneous axis of rotation. In fact, maybe happen that it is not even aligned in the instantaneous axis of rotation. It can be in any arbitrary direction. Why I will tell you mathematically but now, but this is the primary concept you need to remember, that this is the case where the angular momentum can be aligned in any direction. Now, let me just tell you, I'll tell you some results which you can read through various books of the foreign authors. Like you can refer to one book, so very good book, David Morin. You can read the moment of inertia MOI tensor, thing, which is very important in higher physics. So in MOI tensor, and there comes something like IXY, IYZ. These are called the tensor products. These are not in J syllabus. So I will give you something that in 3D rotation, the L is equal to IX omega x plus IY omega y plus IZ omega z. There are many more terms, but that gets cancelled. At least on the bodies they will get that those terms will get cancelled. So I will not write this. Now, what is this IX? What is this XYZ? Suppose this is a body. So our XYZ will be favorable in which this IXY term, this IYZ term. Now, what is this? I will just tell you. This is just nothing but this is XI, YI, MI. That is the integration of this thing. It's called the summation of this thing is called. So this thing just gets cancelled, and now as this things get cancelled, so we have to choose the x direction, the y direction, such as these things get cancelled, and the direction. Suppose I choose x, y, and z. Suppose I choose x, y, and z in this three directions, then if about these things, this xi, yi into mi, these terms get cancelled, then these are called the principal axis. These are called the principal axis. So these are called the principal axis, and this principal axis term is very important I'll tell you one line in David Morin. David Morin said that principal axis of the axis about which the body is happy to rotate. This feels like something very good. Okay, so I'll tell you because this axis is very important because these calculations are often very complex, and in JEE time it's far beyond the JEE league. Of course, in higher physics they will teach you something, some particular bodies you can calculate this, but most of the bodies you cannot calculate this. So this is the concept that angular momentum is equal to Ix omega x plus Iy omega y plus Iz omega z. Okay. Now you can now it's about this. So and about the kinetic energy of a body. This is another thing, half L dot omega, right? This we have studied in normal things, and if you have not studied, you can easily derive this by just using this and this omega, like L. Write L as this, and write omega as omega x plus omega y plus omega z. We can you can just do this by that. Okay. So now return back to our question. I've already solved this question due to save time. So now it said that this thing rotates about this thing. Now we have two things, right? We have this thing about this, it's rotating. This is one. But I'll just explain it on this image. In fact, I just well, this is one, and this is one, right? So if you look carefully, it's directed about this, and it's directed about this. Now you can see easily that their resultant has to be along this. Why? Because you know that if it is the net rotation line, if about the body is rotating about this line, then the points on this body will be instantaneously at rest. So these points are instantaneously at rest because this is the IAOR. Right? Now how will we find that this omega is given us, right? This omega is given. Yes, this is given. So this omega is given. This is not given, but we can find out this. The question will be how will we find out this? This can be very easily find out, and this because this is at rest. So due to this rotation, this body is having velocity along the upper section, right, above the pitch. This is having rotation due to omega spinning. That is omega s cross r. That is equal to omega s r, and for this it is having sigma cross r, that is again capital omega cross r. So these two have to be equal. For this it will have for this it will have a below velocity, and for this it will be it will be upward velocity, and these two has to be exactly equal for this to be instantaneously at rest. That's why omega is equal to sigma. Correct. This is done for him, and now we get this. Now we have got that this is omega, this is omega. Now think carefully that if I choose this as x-axis suppose, and this as y-axis suppose, then these two are the principal axis. It satisfies the condition of principal axis here. Why? You can just say set this as coordinate axis. Suppose it is yi. Okay. Okay, just suppose this point, suppose any point, this is yi. We just go to the diametrical opposite point. What is this? Minus yi, isn't it? So this too, just if I just summation ay xi yi, that x coordinate are the same. The y coordinate are just will just cancel each other. So you can clearly say that this inertia products will be zero about these axes. So choose just x and y. And then you just apply the formula. What's the formula? Then it's ix. This is about this it will have ix, and about this it will have iy. So then the angular momentum formula would be, sorry, just ix omega x. Now what will be omega x? If this is omega and this is omega, right? Then I need to find out about this too. This is it is 30 degrees, so it is also 30 degrees. So this will be just omega into cos 30 degrees. This will have omega by 2, and this will have omega plus omega root 3 by 2. These are the concepts here. Omega y, and if I get this angular momentum, and then we'll get that omega will be omega x I cap plus omega y, j cap. And I have included the z because about this, suppose this is a vertical axis is coming out of the page, and it will not come out of the screen. It will not have any rotation about this. You can clearly see that. Now I'll just what I did there. I'll just formulate it here. So you can see this is omega x, omega into that. Okay, sorry, semi-cone angle is 30 degrees. So semi-cone angle is 30 degrees. So it will be cos 30 degrees. So if this is omega, then it will be cos omega cos 30 degrees, and it will be root 3 itself. And about omega 1, it will be, and about this is omega. So it will be omega plus omega by 2, because omega plus omega sine 30 degrees, that will be 3 itself. And this is L equal to ix omega x I cap plus iy omega y j cap. Now ix and iy. Ix, or everyone know that about, so Iy everyone know it's mr square by 2. And now Ix, how to find the Ix? It's given here. The calculation part I will not dictate, but I'll say how to do it. You just, if this is a code, you can just take it as element to this, right? Now it will having a moment of inertia about it over here, which is mr square by 4, dmr square by 4. Now we use parallel access theorem to shift it to this. Suppose it is high base, so the individual. So if this is dm, then dm r square by 4 plus x square. This would be a moment of inertia. And this integration would be ix. This is here done, and just you can just see the calculation is given here, and you will just get the ix, and thus you will get the ix and omega x value, and you will get that energy part, which will this kinetic energy part. And now it's the velocity of the center of mass. This is a good question. I think you know that where is the center of mass located of a hollow core, right? It's located at the 2h by that h by 3 from the vertex. You say so 2h by 3 from the vertex. Now it's 2h by 3, and if this is 30 degree, this is 30 degree, this is 60 degree, and this is 30, 30, 60, and this is 60 degree, right? Then 2h by 3 into root 3 by 2 equal to omega equal to 2. So velocity of the center of mass is 2. It's satisfying us. Angular velocity of cone above the instantaneous axis of rotation is 2 root 3, which is also correct because the instantaneous, this is omega x not, this is omega s plus sigma. This will come as 2 root 3. You can see it's you can do it here. Angular momentum of cone about the instantaneous axis of rotation. It will I cover in the next one. Just give it a try. How can you find it? Just give it a try. I'll just give the answer about in the next video. Or you can just hear it's given already actually. But its N is given as Ix omega x. I don't know. You have to just find out why this is equal to the option D. Why? You can just find out. You can just try it, or I will. This is a better concept, and is the concept after 2 or 3 videos. Okay. Because if you know this, it is easy. But if you don't know this, then I will have to do the whole derivation. So I'll do the derivation and post and video. Thank you. Please subscribe the channel. And yes, this is a 3D rotation concept, and this is pretty easy. The concept is pretty easy as the calculation seems a bit hard. That's why people choose to avoid it. But it's not very hard as it has already cleared in J1, so it has have already that they will get at this particular thing more. So it's better to prepare